Hello, thank you for clicking play on my YouTube channel. You've landed on the page of Learn to Drive and Thrive with Paul Riley. That's me. If you're here by design, that's brilliant, welcome. If you're here by accident, welcome. You may pick something up here if you look across the sea of videos and content that's going to stack up over time, and it might teach you something new. It might prompt with a question or a thought that helps you go and discover something for yourself. So hopefully there's something for everybody. Now today I wanted to take you through getting your first lesson scheduled. It can be done earlier than you think, certainly in my view, and you can plan really far ahead and get well set up long before you even meet the person that's going to help you. I guess I should stick a caveat in at the top of this, because there are 41,000 people qualified to teach driving for a living, for instruction, for payment, right? They have to pass 3 tests to do it, and hopefully any one of those you meet is the right one to help you. But if you ask 41,000 different people a question, you might get 41,000 different answers. So as always will be the case with me, if you're watching my content, and I'd be really appreciative if you had, what you're getting is my view and my opinion and all of my experience, okay? So that could be my view of it, whatever it is. You'll also get what we might call points of fact, which might be I'm quoting you the highway code, right, word for word. So that isn't disputable because it's written down. That's the rule of the road, the Road Traffic Act. I might quote that. That's fact. That isn't disputable. It's what we have to drive by. It's what we have got to work with. It could be I'm talking about content from the GOV UK website. It could be that I'm talking about DVSA emails. So often I'll be talking from a source that is the source and it can't be questioned. But when you get into what my view is or my experience is or how do I do it, then you might find, oh, my instructor does this. Yeah, maybe they do. Yeah, my instructor does that. Maybe they do. Doesn't mean one of us is wrong, but what we've got is 2 different views of the same world. So driving lessons then. You can and you should get your license as soon as you can. Your green provisional driving license. Now, easier if you've got a passport already, because it gets the ID and the who are you bit out of the way a bit quicker. But you can apply, and you should apply, in my view, for a driving license, a green provisional license from 15 years and 9 months. That's when they'll let you. You have to go through a process, paper-based or an online application. I'll put the URL, the thread, the website address into the show notes and the comments of how to just boink, press on it, and woof, up the page comes. So do it online. That'd be my advice. Do it from 15 years and 9 months. Now, entitlements for what you can drive and when you can drive it can change depending on your circumstances. So most of us, we can drive a car, B1 it's called, from 17 as a learner. We can ride a moped from 16. But that changes slightly if you've got certain health considerations, or especially if you're on something called a PIP, personal independence payment. It's aimed to get you, what's the word, mobile, get you around, get you independent, get you, functioning by yourself. So if that's you, then and your healthcare professional will confirm this, and your Department of Work and Pensions will confirm this, but you might be entitled to drive a car from 16. So get that license applied for early, and it will turn up in the post, and it can be a matter of weeks. It depends on the backlog. It depends on what they do and don't have to do to prove your identity. But it will turn up, let's say for the sake of an argument, 15 years and 9 months is when you apply, and it turns up in December, right? And it will be dated for the date of your 16th birthday for mopeds, for example. It will be your 17th birthday for driving cars, and that's in a learner status, yeah? Unless you're on this PIP, as I say. So you don't have to wait till they're 17 and then get the license. Big mistake, because it's going to stop your other elements of your planning that you could get well in front of. So get that license early. I'll put in the show notes how to do it. In terms of entitlement, I've covered that. And then you get on the journey and find an instructor. Now, these videos of mine, they're not adverts for me. Oh, please come and work with me. That's not that. It's the resource that you might read or you might watch and go, oh, yeah, that's helpful. but I live in Scotland. Well, it's helpful. You know, it might be helpful, but you live in another country. Now, you've got to be a bit careful about talking about driving laws and so on when you're talking about different nations, because they've got different rules. So I'm talking about England, and I'm talking about Scotland, and I'm talking about Wales, and I'm talking about Northern Ireland when I'm starting to speak about driving on roads as far as I'm concerned. I've had experience driving on other roads, and some of the time it's massively different what the rules are and what you can and can't do. So you've applied for your license, yeah? You've done it by post or you've done it by online. Online's quicker, do online. You've ascertained whether you're of the age entitlement. That might mean you can start earlier than everybody else. That might be true. And then you've started to search for your driving instructor. Now, I'll put in another URL, another website address clicky thing that lets you search through the Gov UK, so the government's website, the list of anyone that's told the DV LA and the DVSA, the people that do licenses and the people that do driving tests, it's told them that, you know what, you can keep my details, you can advertise my name and where I live. And not everybody opts to go on it, but it's a good place to start because it's a record of people that are qualified. They passed all 3 parts. Definitely work with reviews, definitely work with word of mouth, definitely work with personal referrals. They're all massively important. And the reason is this: think about your education that you went through, college, university, secondary school, whatever it was, right? You had teachers and professors, whatever, that you probably loved. They thought you were great, you thought they were great, they got the best out of you, you felt like you could ask questions and nothing was daft. You felt like if you got it wrong, it didn't matter. I felt like if I was struggling, I could say. And they're the people you want. Then equally, you had lessons, professors, teachers, whatever. And you thought, oh, 2 hours with them. Oh, I'd rather not. Maybe I'll bunk off. Maybe I didn't do as well in those subjects because the person was just not the right person to help me. And whatever you do in life, education-wise, even in the workplace, whether it's learn an instrument, learn karate, learn whatever, another language, it's going to be about how much you want to do it and your motivation and all that. But it's going to be about the other person because you need them. So if they're not the right one, you don't want to be tied in for loads of time and loads of money and getting nowhere. So your referrals are really important. Most people advertise in more than one place. So Facebook's a classic, Google reviews is a classic, Trustpilot might be another one. It can be all sorts of media channels, and anyone that's advertising in more than one place, that's a good sign, because there are those that might buy, for example, you can buy reviews, Google reviews. If you pay some shady person, they'll just use loads of different email addresses to write generic, this person's very good. And you've got to think, so do your research. Consider whether you're going to schedule lessons and then do on a sort of a trial basis. So although you might have said, oh, we're going to do 100 hours or whatever, and that's your plan, after the first one, you'll get an idea. And so you've still got the idea where you might back out or cancel or change or whatever. So you've got to be careful about handing over too much money. In terms of what's reasonable, again, talk about my experience, so this ain't everyone. But anyone that works with me, I would go through the setup process, and I'll cover that in a moment. And I would only ask them for their first lesson payment up front. Now, the reason that I do that is because I'm committing to the project. I'm committing my time, my car, whatever. You're committing to, if that's you. And by paying up front, it shows we're both serious. And then it also means that my office team can't plop someone into that space because they've got a perceived greater need, but they're ready to pay for it. So let's just make something up. You book a lesson with me for the 18th of October, all right? And now it's January, okay? If you don't pay for that at the time, it's not guaranteed to be yours. Therefore, a bit later in the year, Steve comes online and he's, I've got a driving test, my driving instructor's run the lottery and ran away, or he's not teaching no more, or he's ditched his auto car and he's only got a manual, or there's loads of reasons why this happens. And so they've got a need, and then they get taken on, and then they get given the space and they pay for it. And then sometimes you only find out about it, I only find out about it at the end of the working day. You get in, you download what's happening, oh hang on, what's happened here? So you could end up being at the end of the queue because it's lesson 1 for you, so not desperate, not in the grand scheme of things, but it's lesson 100 for them, and the test is around the corner, and you can see how that might happen. So expect to pay for lesson 1. Find out the refund policy. Find out under the terms of which you can and can't get your money back, especially when you pay up front for big chunks of lessons. Oh, can I buy 20 hours, 30 hours, whatever? Sometimes they'll change the price for you. Oh, good, you know, well done, they've changed the price for you. But then in the small print, you'll sometimes find you don't get refunds on the discounted hours. So let's make it simple. You buy 40 hours, right? And they knock £2 an hour off the first 10. And then the second, third and fourth 10, they're still £40 an hour, £50 an hour, whatever. So when you then do one lesson and go, oh, not for me, can I have my money back? They go, oh no, terms and conditions, because you had a cheap lesson, see? Therefore, you can't have a refund, or it's a partial refund, or it's a refund with an admin fee. Oh, it's all shady. So find that out front. Find out their cancellation policy. Now, mine's really clear. 48 hours. 48 hours. If you tell me on Monday you can't do Wednesday, fine. If you tell me on Monday that you can't do Tuesday, no. Why? Because I'm working all day. I've got 10 hours in the car, 12 hours in the car, prep, admin, whatever. And then I find out at 9 p.m. tonight that you can't do 9 a.m. tomorrow. Who am I going to find to do that? And then I've turned down dozens, hundreds of people sometimes for a lesson space. But the one I gave you, you've not done. And now I'm stuck. And now I could have sold it, but I can't sell it. And who am I going to reach at this hour? So for that reason, people have a cancellation policy. Mine's 48. Others might be more, maybe. Some might be less. But it's done for that reason. So find out the refund policy, find out the cancellation policy, and then and this ain't so important, but some people ask, oh, what car have you got? And you go, oh, I've got a Mini. Oh, no, that's no good, because I'm going to drive a big car, so I want to drive in a big. I get it. So some of the time compatibility is a thing. Find out at the start how many of the sort of things that you need are they able to do. Can you help me with my theory test? Well, you can go and buy an app. Well, that don't sound helpful, so that's a red flag. Could you help me with study aids, for example? And you might go, yeah, you can buy them off me. Now, there's nothing wrong with selling material, because often, you know, we've paid for it, and so we've had to outlay to buy books or whatever. But some of the time it's an added value, it's an added bonus if they've included stuff as well. So that's all. So look for that too. In terms of referrals, anyone that's been with somebody, that's definitely a good sign. Anyone that's written review, a video, that kind of thing, that's a sign. Book your session 1, pay for session 1, but plot, in my opinion, plot 50 hours minimum. Because what you're trying to do is lay out a lot of what you'll need, or most of what you need, and you've got it now. You've got the date and you've got the times. And then if after session 1 you think, no, you're not the right person for me, that's all right. And then if you've researched the refund policy and stuff, that should be okay. And if you've not handed over loads of money, that should be okay. So they're the things that I think you need to do when you're on the search to find someone. So get the license early. Online application is best. Postal's okay, but it's going to take a bit longer. If you've got a passport already, it shortens the time to get your ID verified and all that. That will speed it up. You might be fortunate to be able to start at 16 driving, not 17. That depends on your health status and your PIP status and where you are with the Department of Work and Pensions, so look into that. Use the search engines to find people, words of mouth, Google search, whatever, but the GOV website is a good starting place, because anyone that's registered is on there. Be prepared to pay for your first lesson up front. Book as many as you can, and I hope all that's helpful. There's no such thing in my view as booking lessons too early. I take people on, it's not, oh, look at me, I'm great. I take people on from 15, and in 2 years time they want a lesson, and I share my schedule 1 year in advance. You will know, if you work with me, say, every day I'm going to work for the next 365 days. You will know every time I'm on vacation, every time I've got a 3-day weekend or something, because I plan it all. So you could build around that plan if it's you working with me, and it could be you working with someone else. So yeah, those are my tips, if you like, on how to get started. I will make other content that will talk you through how the first lesson might go and so on. I'll do that in a separate one. Thank you for landing on my page. thank you for watching it. It's really quite nice when you've got loads of experience and stuff you want to share with people, and then you put it out there because your brain's full of this stuff and you're thinking, I could help people, I know stuff, and then they take the time to watch it. So thanks for that. These videos are going to be helpful if you're a learner driver. I've been one of them. You're a learner driver that's failed a L test. Well, you have done that as well. You're a driver who's been around driving for a while and maybe you picked up bad habits. Well, that was me for a while because I was driving on my own for whatever years, 20 odd years or whatever. You've been a trainee driving instructor and all that goes with that. I've done that as well. You didn't get through one of your driving instructor exams. Yep, didn't do that on one of my teaching tests. I didn't get right. I was way too informative, keen, over the top on one bit of it, and it was excellent score. Oh, well done, you've so much info, so much whatever. And then the second bit I didn't do that great on because I didn't pick out the person who was making the mistake quickly enough. I wanted to educate them and educate, but what I needed to do was go, oh, stop, let's fix this. So you learn the hard way. So I've done that too, and then I've trained driving instructors too, and I've done that. So for all those reasons, and if you've landed here, this might help you. So what would really be fantastic if you like or subscribe it, so when new stuff comes out you get an update, and you don't have to watch it all. It'd be great if you did, but you don't have to watch it all. Or shared it with someone you think who are learning to drive. They might learn something here. If you've got any questions or you want to think about certain content in the future, I've got loads of ideas, but it's getting it all done, then send me a message. I'm contactable, it's all in there, and I'll do my best to try and make that happen. So thanks, and I will see you the next time you press play.